Alright men, stand guard and watch your backs. Such a poser.
Hello everybody, TK here, and welcome to my review of Kingdom Wingfinger, the leader of the fossilizers and the best fossilizer by far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm spoiling this review right up front. This figure is absolutely awesome and I love him. But without further ado, before we get into this, let's obviously, well actually not before we get into this, let's get into this. Here is Wingfinger. He is one skinny bony boy, man. He is super weird looking, just like all of the other fossilizers, and I love him. Look at this little handle he's got in the back, so I can perfectly review him like that. Check that out. Ain't that perfect? But yeah, there is Wingfinger, his head sculpt up here. If you look into his head sculpt, he does have some blue picked out for, I guess, his visor right there, which is pretty cool. And I like to think of this guy as like a ninja. I like to think of this guy as a ninja, because that's really the kind of vibe I get from him. And I said in the beginning that he is the leader of the fossilizers. That is by no means canon, but oh my god, he is the leader of the fossilizers 100%. This dude is the leader. Not only is he the tallest of all of the fossilizers, you can see I have the others over here, and if you put him right there, as you can see, he totally looks like the leader of the team right there. You'll get a better feel for that when I bring in the comparisons later in the video, but he is the leader 100%. No way he's not the leader. He is so freaking cool overall, and I love him. I absolutely love the way he looks right there. Very lovely overall. And this guy, unlike Ractinite, unlike Paleotrex and Ractinite to some extent, he is so satisfying to pose around. There is no floppy joints with this figure whatsoever. He is incredibly nice. Obviously, I'm holding it like, there's like no place to grab him to show you this, but yeah, he's like extremely solid. All of his joints feel fantastic. If I bring in Paleotrex here, he's got some looseness right there, as you can see there. He likes to flip around a little bit, not too much, but overall a little bit of flippiness. But this guy, dude, you can friggin' do him all you want. That might happen though. Of course, these are fossilizers, so they do disconnect to become weapons and shit, but overall, I absolutely love the way that Wingfinger looks. He is so very cool. Now, of course, just like all the other fossilizers, his head sculpt is a little mask that you can flip down, which is super cool. I absolutely love the way it looks. And if you notice there, he has a maximal symbol on his crest right there, which is pretty cool. The other two were Predacons, so it's interesting to me that he has a maximal symbol, although me personally, I'm not going to be putting him with my maximals. I'm going to be putting him with the fossilizers in their own little segment over here. You can actually kind of see what I got going on right over here on my Beast Wars shelf on the side there. I got the little fossilizers right there. And honestly, I don't think I would have done that had Wingfinger not been this awesome. I have a feeling in the future, all of my fossilizers are going to go into storage, and he is going to go up top on my shelf, because he is just so effing cool, dude. I love this figure. But yeah, really fun little battle mask that all the fossilizers have, which I always really like. On the back here, this is his beast mode head sculpt right here, and you can actually remove this and use this as a weapon. There's quite a bit of things you can do. Obviously, when it comes to these fossilizers, you really just have to use your imagination. But what you can do with this, if you want to, is you can either plug it in like this, and it can be like a gun or something, or you can bring it this way and bring it down on its hinge here, and it could be like a sword or something if you want it to be a sword as well. Or if you also want it to, you could bring this piece down just like that, and then you can actually you can bring the hand like that, and then you can plug it in, and you have a peg right there that'll go into that port right there, and they just line them up and plug them in to their respective ports right there. And you can kind of have, I think, a tonfa or something going on right there, or like a little blade. It kind of reminds me of a tonfa because of the way he's holding it. He's holding it like this. He got like the handle going out, so it kind of reminds me of a tonfa, but overall, it is a fun little thing you can do as well, which is pretty darn cool. But you can also, of course, just leave it attached to the back just like that, which is also extremely cool. Now, accessory-wise, you get really cool accessory with this guy. You get these two little swords right here, which are super cool. They are very nice. For storage, they have these little tabs right there on his arms. You can see right there, and you can tug and you can plug those in to these little slots right here on there. So you plug them in just like that, and there you have them stored just like that. You can do that on either side. Unfortunately, he does not have the articulation that allows him to pull off like unsheathing poses, like doing some kind of Leonardo shit where he's like grabbing him behind his back. That would have been really cool if you could have done that, but unfortunately, they did not think that far ahead head. But yeah, you can store them on the back just like that, which is very, very, very nice. Or, of course, you can give them to him to hold, and he can have these cool dual freaking swords right here, which is super, super cool. So there you go. You can have him these dual super swords, or you can, of course, plug them in the other way and get some kind of stabbing action going on right there. This guy can pull off so many insane poses. Seriously, I love the posability on this figure. Very, very, very cool overall. Just an awesome figure, man. I cannot stress enough how awesome this dude is. But yeah, really cool little accessories right there. Although, personally, my favorite thing about this accessory is that you can give this guy a weapon that I don't think I've ever seen in a Transformer figure ever. And that is, you can take the weapon, you can take one of the swords, and you can bring it out about halfway, just like that. And then take the other sword, plug it in the other way, and if you do that, you got to make sure that you get them like perfectly centered so that he holds them. You've got a bow, a friggin' bow and arrow. You can give this guy a bow and arrow, and this is personally how I will be having him displayed. Because how many Transformers can you name have a bow and arrow? Like seriously, that is so freaking cool. This bony ninja has got a bow and arrow, which is so unbelievably cool. You can get so many awesome poses with this guy. It's a little hard to get a good drawing pose, but if you mess with it a little bit, you can kind of get a drawing pose right there, which is super, super cool, and I absolutely love that. Look at that, man. That is so freaking cool. Oh, goodness gracious. I love this figure, dude. He is so, so good. I honestly, like, I don't want to spoil the Kingdom Wave 3 ranking, but I think he's my favorite figure of Kingdom Wave 3. Honestly, I know Galvatron is great, but I think I like him more than Galvatron. He's so good, and he feels so good, too. He doesn't feel like a deluxe. Like, look at the size of this guy. Let's, real quick, let's bring in somebody here. Let's bring in, Jesus Christ, let's bring in Galvatron. Why not? So here is Lear class Galvatron compared to Wingfinger. Wingfinger's like a Voyager class. You know what? Actually, let's bring in Voyager class. Let's bring in Voyager class Scourge right here. Let's see how he does with Voyager class Scourge. Look at that. He's about the same height as a Voyager class figure. As you can see right there. He's basically the same height as a Voyager class figure. You are getting so much bang for your buck with this figure, which is absolutely lovely. I love, love, love this figure, man. He is so good. He is easily, no questions asked, the best fossilizer. Honestly, none of the other fossilizers even come close to this guy, man. He is so freaking cool. So, there you have Wingfinger. I'll give you guys some comparisons. As you can see, he looks absolutely awesome, commanding his fossilizer team right there, which is so very cool. One more thing I want to go over before we get into the transformation is that he does include a little head here. Now, once again, just like always, I'm not going to show you armored up versions with the fossilizers. That is really something that, in my opinion, you need to try yourself, and you need to come up with the crazy shit that you can come up with. It's all a matter of using your imagination. So I'm not going to show you any of the armored up fossilizer modes. I may do a video on the combined mode, honestly. I don't know. I have no idea if I'm going to or not, but if you want to do a combined mode, if you want to have fun with it, you get this little piece included with this figure that just plugs into the pterodactyl head right there on the back. It makes the back of his pterodactyl head. You can pull this piece off, and this is actually a combined mode head sculpt that you can open up, and you have your little eye right there. This kind of reminds me of like a Yu-Gi-Oh monster. I don't know why, but yeah. Pretty cool overall, and that is what you use for a head sculpt. And you also have this little peg that you can flip down and plug into any 5mm port that you wish. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I might make a video of just trying to do all kinds of crazy shit with fossilizers, because there is so much crazy shit you can do with fossilizers. And once again, I really think it's just something you need to use your imagination with. So yeah, there you go. There you have Wingfinger. Alrighty, transformation. Now, transform Wingfinger is honestly ridiculously easy because unlike every other fossilizer, he doesn't really parts form all that much. All you really have to parts form is the back piece right here, and that's basically it, because literally all you have to do to transform him, pull his little mask away, bring these pieces up, and you have a slot right there that's going to tap into the side of his head right there, and you're just going to bring that up and tab that in right there, and it's, why is he giving me a hard time? This is never giving me a hard time. There we go. Get that in there, and then same thing on the other side, get that tab into that slot right there, and bring those down. Take the hands here, these are on little ball joints, you're going to bring them forward and rotate them that way. Same thing on the other side here, and there you have that. Now what you're going to do, this piece, you do have to parts form this is like the only really piece of parts form you have to do, is remove this, flip this around, bring those legs up just like that, and you're going to plug it in right there. You can see you have a slot, a tab right
right there and a peg right there. You're gonna plug those in just like that, and that's like all the parts we have to do, and then just take the head and plug it up there, just like that. That's all the parts we have to do. Unlike like every other fossilizer, you have basically like a rip to pieces. This guy, you really just have to like, that's all you have to do. And then you're gonna take this, bring this way, do that, and there we go. And you wanna do that. Now, to complete the look, you are done here, but basically, to complete the look, you can bring in the sword slash bow here, and you wanna plug these in right here, and these plug in absolutely perfectly. They really fill out the shape right there, which is really, really great. And there you have Wingfinger in his bony pterodactyl mode right there.
And there you have Wingfinger's fossilized beast mode. And yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. He is a bony pterodactyl, man. It looks so cool. And I love the transformation because all you have to do is just separate him in the middle and just turn it around and plug him back together. Like, that's all you have to do. There's like no parts forming with this figure other than that one step and plugging in the swords into his arms right there. And that is just so awesome, man. I love this. Oh, and the head. You have to plug that onto there. But like, compared to like Paleotrex, you have to rip Paleotrex apart. You cannot, the only thing you can leave in is his head sculpt. Everything else has to be taken apart and put into a different spot. But freaking Wingfinger, you pretty much just boop, boop, there you go, you're done. It's so friggin' awesome, and I think he comes out so well. And once again, no floppiness whatsoever. He is incredibly solid right now. I wish I could show you, but I really don't want to transform Paleotrex right now. Paleotrex just flips all around when you hold him, and you hold him up and you do this. His legs like to go back and forth, and his everything does. But this dude, absolutely no floppiness whatsoever. He is absolutely solid and perfect, and I love this figure so freaking much. So yeah, absolutely awesome beast mode. I truly love this. One thing I will also show you is if you take Vertebrake here, you can totally have Vertebrake riding on Wingfinger right there, which is kind of fun as well because he kind of scales up perfectly with it because Vertebrake is a core class figure. So yeah, you can kind of get something like that going as well, which is also pretty darn fun. But overall, I really, really, really love the beast mode. I just think it looks incredibly, incredibly cool. You have some nice posability right there with the beak, and it likes to snap closed too, which is pretty cool right there. But yeah, absolutely love this figure. I will say he does have kind of a hard time standing up. Let me, how can I show this right here? If you see over here, he doesn't have the easiest time standing up because his feet are a little weird. So he does kind of have, you have to kind of fumble with him to get him to stand up, but you absolutely can do so because his feet are really weird. Like, you have to like bring them down like this in order to get it leveled, but this piece likes to spring out because it's on this ball joint, and it really just likes to go into those two different positions right there. So you might have to screw with it a little bit to get him to stand up in this mode. Not a huge deal, just wanted to point it out. But yeah, that is definitely something that you might have, that I wanted to tell you real quick, is that you might have a hard time standing him up. And there's also not really a good spot to put a stand. If you have a claw stand, that'll be pretty easy to just clamp him down and he'll be able to hold just fine. But there's not really a little peg hole to put him in, which is really sad, because if you bring these pieces up, and you can bring his head sculpt up and then give him a little open beak right there, and you can have a pretty nice flying pose with Wingfinger right there, which is pretty darn nice. So there you go. They have his beast mode. Overall, super fun, super like it, and the transformation is super fun, man. This figure's awesome, man. So some comparisons. So final thoughts on our bony ninja man here. Oh my god, I love Wingfinger. I love him so much. This is one of my absolute favorite figures of Kingdom so far. He's so good, man. If you remember me saying in that one video I said in the like the thoughts on this guy video when Wave 3 was first revealed, if you remember me saying like they should make a Voyager class fossilizer to just be the leader, honestly, they basically did, because Wingfinger here is honestly probably just a Voyager class figure. And he is so good. I absolutely love Wingfinger. I cannot recommend him enough. He has got S tier out the wazoo. S+. I love this figure. He is so good. Go get him. Go buy him now. He's fantastic. I love this figure. Trust me, even if you're looking at this guy and it doesn't appeal to you whatsoever, and you're like, why on earth does he love this figure so much? Buy him. Go buy him. You'll get him out of packaging, and you will immediately fall in love with him the second you pick him up and start posing him. He's so unbelievably fun. S tier, S+. I love this figure. With that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for more Transformer content in the future, and more of my disgusting face talking about robots that turn into things. And with that being said, this is DK Guillotine, signing out.